All right, I appreciate everybody, man, for your birthday wishes and everything, but I got to do this. I got to do this. We still got to talk about, the next upcoming coaching on the defensive side of the coin. But before we get anything going, let's listen to this audio right quick.
The clip kind of went unnoticed at the time. Now that there's a real discussion of Quinn leaving and Harris potentially, well, maybe he could be elevated, this was getting some play. This was Al Harris back in November with Adam Schefter talking about what would happen if Dan Quinn left.
With Q, if Q was to go and get a head coaching job, honestly, in whatever capacity he wanted me to come, I'm there. I'm there. It could be in Alaska. He could be coaching the Alaskan Bluebirds and call me, Al, I need you. I'm there.
All right, so with that being said, it could be a situation that most other people were talking about Joe Witt Jr. leaving, but it could be Al Harris. And on top of that, it could be a situation that's crazy enough to see that both of those boys could leave, Joe Witt Jr. and Al Harris. But here's my thoughts. According to the ruling that they can only take one player from what I heard. Now, granted, the Cowboys, they could go by this way of looking at other coaches. I heard that let me see what I got. Hold on. Bear with me. Lee, what's good?
Well, first of all, I want to wish you happy birthday.
Oh, thank you so much, man. And it could be breaking down these two guys right here. I don't know whether or not you would like Ron Rivera over Zim or Zim over Ron Rivera. Most people look at these two guys as retreads, right? And we know we're going to get with those boys. But here's my thoughts on it. It's a different world between being a defensive coordinator versus a head coach. You got a lot of hats as it relates to a head coach. My thing is, when the Cowboys did have Mike Zim, they were about, I believe, number one, number two, number three-ish defense, give or take. And I know that's many of years ago. And when you look at the Vikings when he was the head coach there, you know that they brought some type of style of defense that was really prevalent. But the only thing that when you look at everything, you would say to yourself, these are collectively retreads right here. And when I look at Ron Rivera as a linebacker guy, I look at Zim as a linebacker, defensive guy, defensive front guy. But both of those guys, time could pass them by. I don't know. If it's a situation where they will take a job ultimately for 1 year, because we already know the writing is on the wall for, dare I say, Coach Mike McCarthy. What will be the levels of expectation? Super Bowl or bust, right? At the end of the day. So I'm looking at everything. I would say that the Cowboys should hire from within, whether it be Joe Witt Jr. or Al Harris. It should be one of those two guys as our defensive coordinator. If they don't both go to the Commanders, one of those guys, the opportunity would be too vast for them to pass by, right? Because there's only one positioning that's open for a defensive coordinator. And how would that contract look anyhow? For Mike Zim or for Ron Rivera. So those things right there. Mike Vrabel, to me, would be the other guy that the Cowboys should consider real strongly, because he will bring in newness. He will bring in, although he is a retread, but he will bring in culture. He will bring in identity, and he will establish that. And I think that his voice will be heard louder over here opposed to where he was at in Tennessee. And especially being a defensive coordinator, you can look at it like this. Down the stretch, when it's time to get that offensive play caller, hey, he got tons of guys that he can reach out to. Then in the back end of it, I heard news rumbling around with Jason Witten being a guy that's looking for an opportunity to coach in the NFL levels. Hey, why not? Why not? But far as the other conversational piece about Ray Lewis being a coach in the NFL levels, I don't want to give Ray Lewis the defensive coordinator spot immediately. I would love for Ray Lewis to come into a situation where he's a positional coach, like a linebackers coach. My three linebacker coaches that I would love to see coaching for the Cowboys under any of these guys' system would be number 1, Ray Lewis, number 2, Sean Lee, number 3, Ken Norton Jr. Those are my 3 guys, man. I also want to touch light on what Isaiah Stanback said about Dan Quinn going to the Washington land. But let's play this audio so you guys can have this for context.
He has some pieces in place already, but the biggest piece that he has in place is Eric Bieniemy. Ooh to the wee. Dan Quinn on defense, Eric Bieniemy on offense. They have a ton of draft picks, high draft picks at that. Might be a problem down the road. I'm not saying it's going to happen immediately, but that's one heck of a coaching pairing that they have going on in Washington, especially with new leadership at the front office.
Well, you still need running back game over there, and I believe you still need a quarterback. Now, granted, things can change very quickly due to leadership or what have you. But that's supposed to happen last year, right? Eric Bieniemy is supposed to help out things last season. Granted, Dan Quinn with us, 12-5, 12-5, 12-5. We have won 12 or more games since Dan Quinn been here. And they will have a plethora of a lot of draft picks. So we will see what the Washington team will look like. And on top of that, who will be their actual DC over there. And we will see how Dan Quinn will run that back like he did with Atlanta or what have you. He started off real quickly and fast there and took that particular team to the Super Bowl. But keep in mind, the guy that been back to the Super Bowl 2 times since that time frame is Kyle Shanahan. So now we're seeing that Kyle Shanahan was the guy. So now if you really do research, shoot, Kyle Shanahan took what? 3 teams to the Super Bowl? 1 as an offensive coordinator, 2 as a head coach. So Dan Quinn, we'll see whether or not you was the person behind the plan or was it really Kyle Shanahan and beyond. But that's a whole nother conversation. Now, Isaiah Stanback got a strong opinion about who should be a coach here as far as the defensive coordinator. Let's listen to what he's going to say.
Dallas Cowboys, who do you need to bring in as a defensive coordinator? Now, y'all are not going to agree with me. I'm coming off the top rope with this. Rex Ryan. I know he likes to feed and all that. Get Rex Ryan in here. He's a big personality. He's Dallas personality. And he is going to have these guys all over the place, have offenses guessing all day, every day. I think Michael Parsons would flourish in that.
Now, Parsons may flourish. DBs, they gonna flourish because I think Rex, he had Revis and he also had the other guy is at the tip of my tongue, man. Y'all help me out. Put his name down below. Antonio Crow. But he had those 2 lockdown or shutdown corners over there when Rex was there coaching for the Jets. And Rex do bring in alpha male mindset and dog nasty mindset. If you lose, you're going to lose from the aspect of probably being over aggressive, but it won't be none of that soft stuff. And his personality may be so much overbearing, it will cover up Mike McCarthy's personality. So it will be a crazy mixture of Mike McCarthy, who's appears to be more of a beta male at this point. Not talking bad about Mike, but this is me from the outside looking in, even though some players do gravitate towards Mike McCarthy. But it seems as if, though, the personality mindset or complex is a total thing that the Jones family would not like. Because Rex, he's going to be boisterous, he's going to be strong opinion guy, and he may be a guy that will chew out Mike McCarthy, the Jones family, etc. So I don't think that would be a good look. It'll be good as far as the entertainment piece, but to the football piece, I think that his personality will be overbearing. You already got personality with Jerry Jones, with John Stephen Jones. You got personality complex within the confines of the players that's on this team, like a Michael Parsons. And on top of that, the Dak Prescott situation, you know, he always say the right things and these sorts of things as far as from a political angle. You don't want to bring that mixture into this particular locker room. It will be prime time for TV, but not for the football field, in my opinion. So I'm out on Rex, even though he may be the solution for this team. But I don't think that the people above will have him in with open arms. You know, if anything, if they're going to bring in a guy with personality, they might as well call Jimmy Johnson back to be a consultant or something like that. He would bring the right fire that this team need, believe it or not. But that's a whole nother storyline for your mind, Cowboy Nation. Post me your thoughts, post me your concerns down below. That's all the time that I have for this beautiful moment. Be sure to hit that like, share this content, and let a friend or a neighbor know where to go when it's time to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and Beyond. And I really appreciate y'all for y'all birthday wishes there and sending me off with good stuff and praises. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Stand tall or not at all. DC for life, not for short. Salute. Peace. We out.